So you found my answer key video. Great. Now, here's the deal. I know I had more than one example after that lecture video, but I'm only going to work one problem out at a time because these problems could take up my whole board only because I don't have a lot of space. So if you're like, well, I got problem number 1, super. Fast forward to problem number 2, and if that's the one you had a challenge with, stop there and see how I did it. But in the meantime, this particular problem. So what did I suggest that we do first? Good. First, figure out how many terms you have. So again, I'm seeing a bunch of parentheses, but I'm seeing this addition sign right in the middle of everything. So I'm going to look to the left of it and see what operation I have over there. So I have 16 times a parenthesis, times another parenthesis, and then I hit addition. Well, that's all one term. Look to the right of the addition sign. I see 20 times a parenthesis times a parenthesis. Again, all multiplication. That's another term. So there's only 2 terms here. So number of terms identified. Check. Now, what's the first step of factoring? Divide out, factor out what's in common. All right, so let me look. What would be in common? Some of you are like, well, these parentheses are. Good. So I'm seeing a 5x plus 2 in common with both terms. But I'm also seeing a 2x minus 3 in common with both terms, right? Okay. So question, the 5x plus 2. The first term has 3. Pardon me. The first term has 4. The second term has 3. How many 5x plus 2s are we taking out? Good, 3, the lower amount, because this one doesn't have any more to give but 3 of them. 2x minus 3. There's 7 here, 8 here. Good, take out 7 of them. Good. Anything else I can divide out? We kind of skipped over the 16 and the 20. Our brains went straight to the parentheses. So, can you divide a number out of 16 and 20 evenly? Sure, take out a 4. 4 goes into both of them evenly, right? Okay, so let me write what we decided to factor out. We decided to factor out the 4, the 5x plus 2 in parentheses, 3 of those, the 2x minus 3 in parentheses, 7 of those, right? Okay, let's see what remains. Too many parentheses, I'm going to write a bracket. So let's see, 4 goes into 16 4 times. 5x plus 2, 3 of them are gone, leaves me 1 left. 2x minus 3, all 7 of them cancel. Good. Plus 4 into 20, yeah, that's 5. 5x plus 2, there was 3, they all go away. There's 7 of them that we're dividing out, so that leaves me only 1 of them left. Well, that bracket isn't too bad, is it? Okay, ready to keep going? Hopefully you're agreeing, hopefully your work's agreeing with mine. So let's see, I'm writing the 4, my 2 parentheses to their powers that we decided we were going to factor out. Okay, let's see what remains in the bracket. We have 20x plus 8 plus 10x minus 15. Good. Okay, let's simplify those brackets. I know, the bulk of the time sometimes seems like you're just rewriting what you factored out, but it's important to write it. Okay, so 20 and 10, so we have 30x and then minus 7. Got it. Question, can I factor anything out of those brackets? Because technically that was a leftover. No, you can't, you're right. Which means this last line is the factor of the original problem. Cool? Okay. Hang in there. Problem number 2 coming your way. Okay, so I'm back with problem 2. And again, if you're like, I got this problem, good, then scoot on to problem 3, okay? This is a video, so fast forward to whichever problem you need to see. Okay, so the directions are still to factor. What do you do first? Good, you identify how many terms we have. So let's take a look. I see a lot of parentheses, but do you see what's right in the middle of those parentheses? Yeah, that's subtraction sign. So I've got to determine how many terms are to the left of it and to the right of it. So look to the left. I have negative 40 times x times that parenthesis. Then I hit the minus. Well, one term, right? After the minus, I have 5 times that parenthesis. Well, that's one term. I like all these multiplication problems. Even though there are parentheses, they are still telling me that I am multiplying the parenthesis by something else. Okay. And now that we've decided how many terms, good. What's in common, if anything? So let's take a look. Yeah, the parentheses sometimes are the easiest things to identify just because they're taking up the most amount of room and our eyes are looking at them more than anything else. So I have 2x minus 3 in common. How many can I take out of both? Good, only 3, because this one has 3, this one has 4. I take the lower number because that's all it has. Now, but I have other things going on in each term. I have a negative 40x and I have this 5, don't I? Okay, well, what goes into a 5 and a 40? Yeah, 5. So I can divide out a 5 out of both terms. Now, here's the deal. In case you didn't remember, the first term always tells me what sign I'm factoring out. So I am taking out a negative 5 out of both terms. Good? Okay, so let's see what remains. Let me write down what we are factoring out. And I always like my brackets. So, first off, negative 40 divided by negative 5. Yeah, that's a positive 8. Looks like that x is going to stay. There's nothing to cancel it with. The parentheses, yes, we factored both of them out. So, or all 3 of them out, so they're gone. Now, negative divided by negative is positive. The 5's cancel to a 1. And the parentheses, yeah, these 3 are gone, and it only leaves me 1 left. Well, this isn't looking too bad, is it? All right. Let's see what those parentheses, or I should say the brackets, simplify to. It looks like 8x plus 2x minus 3, which means in the bracket we get 10x minus 3. Got it. So question, is there anything I can still factor out of the bracket? Because that's what was left over. No? All right then. This last line, final answer, final factored form for this problem. Cool? Okay, problem number 3, heading your way. Problem number 3, did you get it? Some of you paused on this one because you're like, yeah, I'm not quite sure what to do with this one. Because you're looking at the exponents and you're like, fractions, and even 1 being negative. It's okay. Don't worry about it. We got this. Gratefully, our process doesn't change. So how do I start? Identify how many terms. Good. I see the subtraction sign in the middle. To the left of the subtraction sign, I have 2 parentheses multiplied together. That's 1 term. To the right of the subtraction sign, 2 parentheses multiplied together. That's 1 term. Got it. So, what's in common with both of these? The parenthesis of 4x minus 1. Excellent. And now, you got to figure out what you're doing, or what power you're taking out, right? So remember the previous 2 examples. Every time we determined the power, we always took out the smaller power, didn't we? Because how can you take 8 out of 7 if they only have 7 to give? So, which power is smaller, the 2/3 or the negative 1/3? Yeah, the negative 1/3. So we're going to factor out this parenthesis to the negative 1/3 power. It's okay, it'll work out. Hang in there, trust me. So we have 4x minus 1 to the negative 1/3. So let's see what happens. Let me open up my bracket here. So for sure I'm going to have the 3x plus 1, right? Now what you question is what happens between these exponents. Well, remember, when you're dividing exponents, it's a subtraction problem, isn't it? And if you're uncertain, let me sidetrack you. A to the 5th divided by a squared. Yeah, that's a to the 3rd, because technically you did 5 minus 2, which gave you the 3. Agreed? So, 2/3 divided by, which means subtraction, negative 1/3. Oh, look at that. It turns out to be 3 over 3, which is power of 1. Whoops. I put it on the wrong one. Power of 1. Yay! Well, that was sweet. Agreed? Okay. After the subtraction sign, we have the 4x squared plus 2. Now, I have this parenthesis to the negative 1/3 divided by itself. Those guys are just going to drop out. So this is what I have remaining in my brackets. Cool? It didn't turn out to be too bad, did it? Not at all. What we had to remember is when you are dividing bases, the same base, you have to subtract the powers. Cool? All right. So let's see what's going on in these brackets, shall we? Looks like I have a distribution problem to do in the beginning. Did you distribute already? Well, you should have. And if you didn't, pause the video and distribute. So 12x squared minus 3x plus 4x minus 1. And then I'm subtracting 4x squared plus 2. Got it. Let's keep writing this guy down on the outside. In the brackets, we have 12x squared plus x minus 1 minus 4x squared minus 2, because we have to distribute that subtraction sign. Agreed? Okay. All right. Let's see what the brackets are going to simplify to. Looks like 8x squared plus x minus 3. All right. Not too bad. Now the question becomes, does the bracket still factor? Because I have a second degree polynomial in there. And did you try it? Yeah, I did too. It doesn't factor, does it? Then that's it. There's your final answer. Good? Okay, problem number 4, heading your way. Okay, I'm curious. Now that we worked on problem 3, did you try problem 4 on your own? I hope so. And if you didn't, that's okay. We're going to go through it, obviously. Okay, the directions say to factor. What do you decide first? How many terms? Yes, I see this plus sign in the middle of everything. To the left of it is a single multiplication problem, shall I say? 1 term. To the right of it, multiplication, 1 term. Again, I only have 2 terms, right? Okay, and now when you factor, what's the first step? You look for what's in common. So, I'm seeing that they both have an x in common, and they both have the parenthesis of x plus 3. Is that agreeable to you? Lovely. Now let's look at the x. This is to the negative 1/2 power. This is the positive 1/2 power. Which power do I take out? Good, you take the smaller of the two. So I'm going to take out negative 1/2 from both terms. X to the negative 1/2. And the x plus 3. This has a positive 1/2, this has a negative 1/2. Again, you take out the smaller of the two, so you take out the negative 1/2, right? Okay, This is where writing these little steps of what you're doing come in extremely handy. I'm a visual person. I need to write these little steps out for myself sometimes because sometimes there's a lot going on and I don't want my brain to miss looking at something properly. Okay, let's look at let's see what's in our brackets. So x to the negative 1/2 divided by itself. Okay, that's going to cancel. And then I have x plus 3, right? Now remember, what do you do with the exponents? The numerator is 1/2. The denominator is negative 1/2. When you are dividing the same bases, what do you do with the exponents? Good, you subtract, which means, oh, look at that. It becomes 2 over 2, which is 1. So I just have x plus 3 to the power of 1. Yay! Okay, plus, to the right, x to the 1/2 divided by x to the negative 1/2. Okay, bases are the same, and I have a 1/2 in the numerator, that's its power, and the denominator is a negative 1/2 power. We subtract, and lo and behold, look at this. We have just x to the power of 1. And these guys drop out completely, don't they? Well, honestly, what's left in parentheses was extremely nice. Boy, this was a very good problem to end with, wasn't it? So we have basically 2x plus 3 in the brackets, right? Good. Now, if you need more practice with factoring these types of algebraic expressions, I've got some more examples coming your way. So I suggest trying them just for practice because they can be a little bit more involved. And yes, there is an answer key video, so go find it after you do them. Catch you on the flip side.